Greetings all and welcome to a whole new episode of the OERLive Bulletin. This week we take a look at the crux of the year that has been 2021. As eventful as it has been, the year did come with its ups and downs. And this week we take a moment to look back at everything that happened over the course of the year. We begin with January. Overseas, Joe Biden was sworn in as the President of the United States. Joseph R. Biden, the Democratic Party leader, won the presidential polls in November 2020 in what was one of the most contentious elections in US history. He took oath as the 46th President of the United States on 20th January 2021. Meanwhile, in Oman, the energy development Oman took shape in a bid to play a central role in the Sultanate's energy transition as well as economic diversification aside from reducing petroleum development Oman's dependence on the state budget. January also witnessed Saudi Arabia reopening borders with Qatar, thereby ending a 4-year blockade. In February, Oman began administering COVID-19 vaccines to the public. Pfizer and Oxford AstraZeneca were the two vaccines administered early on. Meanwhile, UAE made history as the fifth nation worldwide and the first Arab nation to reach Mars with its HOPE probe. In other news, extreme Arctic winter storm Uri crippled life in parts of Canada, the United States, and Mexico. The ice storm dumped several inches of snow even in areas known for their hot climate. In March, Oman launched the economic stimulus plan to focus on key points. These include incentives pertaining to taxes and fees, incentives to improve business and investment environment, incentives to boost small and medium enterprises, and incentives for the labor market and employment. The container ship Ever Given ran aground in the Suez Canal in March, holding up billions in trade. The ship was freed 6 days later, only to reveal $9.6 billion worth of trade was held up during the time. The first 5,000 Days, an NFT-based artwork by Beeple, an American artist whose real name is Michael Winkelmann, went under the hammer at Christie's for $69 million, thereby kicking off the NFT phenomenon worldwide. April began with some sad news when Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, passed away in Windsor Castle just weeks shy of his 100th birthday. Meanwhile, in Oman, the Petroleum Development Oman announced the appointment of Steve Pemister as their new managing director, thus marking the retirement of Raul Rastucci, who served as the managing director of PDO and served the Sultanate's energy industry for 10 years. In May, SN-15, a Starship prototype of Elon Musk's SpaceX, took off from the company's Boca Chica facility to an altitude of about 9.6 kilometers as a part of a high-altitude launch. As planned, its 3 Raptor engines shut down and it then started its descent to Earth. 2 of the engines restarted just before landing and the SN-15 made a successful touchdown near its launchpad. B.1.617.2, a potentially highly transmissible variant of the coronavirus, was renamed Delta by the World Health Organization in line with its Greek naming system for strains. The variant was first discovered in India in October 2020. Meanwhile, in June, 3 Chinese astronauts, Ni Haixing, Liu Boming, and Tang Hongbo, were lifted off on Long March 2F rocket from the Satellite Launch Center in the Gobi Desert for the Tiangong space station. They became the first from the country to enter the station that is being constructed in space by China around 380 kilometers above Earth. July brought the 32nd Summer Olympic Games to Tokyo a year after being postponed. The US topped the medal count with 113 medals. Blue Origin, the spaceflight company of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, scripted history on its first crewed mission by taking the billionaire and 3 others into suborbital space. Meanwhile, August saw the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan after a 2-decade war. In the world of sports, fans witnessed Lionel Messi take a teary exit from Barcelona to join PSG. Meanwhile, his counterpart from Real Madrid and then Juventus, Cristiano Ronaldo, joined Manchester United in the same month. SpaceX created history once again in September 2021 with the launch of Inspiration 4, the world's first spaceflight with an all-civilian crew. The Crew Dragon capsule, carrying the 4-member crew, was lifted off on a recycled Falcon rocket from Launch Complex 39A, NASA's Kennedy Space Center at Cape Canaveral in Florida, United States. Meanwhile, Oman broke new grounds as the nation began the new Investor Residence Card program. As a part of the launch of the new program, a total of 22 investors of different nationalities were issued long-term visas. October began on a somber note for Oman. Cyclone Shaheen battered parts of Oman with cyclonic winds, causing massive destruction across the capital city of Muscat and the northern parts of Oman. However, October did bring the welcome news that the World Health Organization had endorsed the world's first vaccine against malaria. Omicron, a newly detected variant and mutation of COVID-19, was detected in November. The variant has since been noted a variant of concern by the World Health Organization and is currently the leading viral mutant infector worldwide. The month of November also witnessed His Majesty Sultan Haitham visiting the sisterly state of Qatar. This came following an invitation from Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar. The world's largest and most powerful space telescope, the James Webb Space Telescope, rocketed away on a high-stakes quest to behold light from the first stars and galaxies and scour the universe for hints of life. Meanwhile, in the Sultanate, Vodafone Oman announced the launch of its service operations on the 30th of December under the patronage of His Highness Sayyid Azan Qais Tariq Al Said. This brings us to the end of the OERLive Bulletin. We here at OERLive would like to take this opportunity to wish each and every one of you a very happy new year. For more news and views, follow us on OERLive.com.